you didn't have nowhere near this amount of muscle.
No.
Nowhere near.
No. I can tell you that
35 pounds.
Because I went on a like get to the weight program, not be strong program.
Burn it all off type deal.
Yeah.
Well, this tells me, okay, so to be functional in jiu-jitsu, now my typical jiu-jitsu guys that are the best, that want to be lean and fit in the weight class, I usually keep them with around 10 pounds of fat on their body. And that usually puts them at 6%, 5%. If you're heavy, it's 5%. If you're light, it's 6%. So you could lose, theoretically, 25 pounds and be stronger.
220 down to 20. See, that puts me. Okay, so the weight class for me is there's one, and this is in a gi, so take 5. So the gi's 4 or 5 pounds, and you weigh in the gi at the fight, not the day before. You go from the scale to the mat. So there's a weight class at 222.
Okay.
There's a weight class at 208, and the one below that I think is 194.
Okay, 194 would
that'd be hard.
You would almost have to lose muscle. So, but the 208.
Yeah, that's the one I want to be.
Man, I could actually put about 10 to 12 pounds of muscle on you
and still
take 25 pounds of fat off. And you would look 3 times. I mean,
now what's the timeline from today to that?
Well, I'll tell you just like I tell all them and everybody here.
Depends on how hard I'm willing to do.
It's how well you listen to me, and how hard you work on the program.
Okay.
It's like if you gave me law advice or any kind of lawyer stuff, and I was like, all right, whatever.
I'm gonna do half that.
I'm gonna do half of what he says. He don't know anything, whatever.
Right.
Lawyers,
but then you go get half the results.
And I'm gonna get half the results. I'm gonna get in trouble. It's exactly like that.
All right. So on a scale from like completely committed,
Okay.
well, I mean,
give me a timeline.
Well,
what's the next thing you got coming up?
Well, I could compete later this month and at the end of next.
Okay.
And so to be 204, be safe 202, 204.
3 months, 2 months. 2 months we pushing it, but it is possible.
Okay. But that would require strict.
That'd be like doing exactly strict.
Okay.
But what we're also talking about is long term.
Right.
Now that would be losing the fat and getting there.
Well, see, there's 2 things. There's this tournament. There's the next 2 tournaments.
Right.
But it's likely that after that I'm going to get a belt promotion, and that's a whole new world. Because
that different weight classes?
No, it's not different weight classes, but
it's a whole new world of training.
Yeah, like I go from so I'm a blue belt now. This year it is likely I will earn a purple belt with or without the competition.
Right.
Purple belt is a whole new universe. That's
so would that
life.
Be like next spring?
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah.
So, and this is straight up without any competitions. So, 6 months, 6 to 9 months.
Without being
6 months.
Right.
Pretty say 90% strict. I could put 10 pounds of solid muscle on you. I could make you lose 20 to 25 pounds of fat, and I could probably add 50 pounds or more to every lift. And increase your flexibility.
See, that's the other thing.
I can do all that.
Because at 47, I was never naturally flexible, and it gets harder and harder and harder.
Yes, it does.
So, and obviously in jiu-jitsu, that's
the
kind of an
terminology
issue.
with my jiu-jitsu guys that I use, and you don't know, but I have that at my gym. So I have a guy who's very good. He runs it Monday through Thursday night. I close my CrossFit. I have a 5,000 square foot CrossFit. Close it, and it's jiu-jitsu only for 3 hours. That's it. And the term I use with all those guys, they always say flexibility, flexibility. I say yes, but the key of that is the mobility for jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Because them dudes, you're moving. You got to be flexible.
Yeah.
But you've got to be able to move the joint in the full range and be flexible.
Right. And still have some strength.
Oh my God. The stuff they do amazes me.
Yeah. Well, I train with guys that invert and just do.
It's amazing.
Yeah. My game is a little bit more like.
And the power.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some guys, they practice getting out of a full mount all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if I'm full mounting you, you're not getting out. And I've seen some of them, I thought, okay, well maybe they could. I mean, I got a low center of gravity. I'm super strong for my size. But those guys, you wouldn't expect it.
Right.
They'd be 165
pounds. Dudes that I outweigh by 50 pounds.
And they're
wreck me.
Oh yeah.
But they've been training 8, 10, 12 years.
There's so much technique.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I don't care who you are. If they get on your back and they know what you're doing,
you're done.
You're done.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly
because it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you get the neck, that's
you're done. Yep. And I've seen some guys with that. like cranking on people. Jesus Christ, I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah.
That would kill me.
Well, everybody goes to sleep if you cut the blood off.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
So 16%. That's
really good actually to start with.
That's
pretty good. We all started much higher than that.
Yeah.
I would like to do this again in a month. Get you on a program.
Well, I just started taking the supplements.
I just got aminos, lean A, and iron aminos because he wasn't taking any supplements.
No.
Nothing other than
protein
shakes.
You know, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't want
protein. I got off Amazon."
Well, how much food do you eat a day?
I eat. I mean, I'm not. Look, I did the high school. I did the high school wrestling. I did the whole, sleep in a trash bag and make water weight.
Wrong.
Yeah, but that was 1985.
They starve you and they burn you off.
It sucked.
They dehydrate you.
It sucked, and I'm not going to do that again.
That'd kill people.
Yeah, it sucked, and I'm not going to do that again.
We hadn't done that since the 80s.
Yeah, well, that's when I did it.
Some people did it in the 90s, but it was only the coaches from the 80s who thought it worked.
Right.
By the time the 2000s rolled around, there was enough guys like me out here.
Yeah.
That were going, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it sucked, and I'm not willing to do that again. Mm-hmm. When I was young and stupid and had nothing else to do besides be angry and hurt people, okay, I did it. But man, I got a real job now. I got responsibilities. I'm not going to endanger myself to make a weight for a tournament I don't have to be in.
Well, I don't want you to have to quote make weight. I want you to be walking around.
That's what I want to do. Right. Like I'm walking around in a weight class that dudes are going to come down to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight those gorillas.
You want to live in your weight class because you get stronger there.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I do with all my fighters. Which the MMA guys, they're different too, because they have to have so many skill sets.
Yeah.
And I don't deplete guys.
Well, see, I train probably 6 to 8 hours of jiu-jitsu a week.
Wow.
And I lift for 6 hours a week.
That's good.
But
every other day.
Yeah, I have a squat rack in my house, so I do the squats, deadlifts, bench, military, pull-ups. Yeah. And then my cardio is entirely on. I used to try to do cardio separately, but man, when I'm rolling jiu-jitsu, because I've done a heart monitor while I'm rolling, and depending upon who I'm rolling with, like if I'm rolling a white belt and they're no threat to me and it's entirely up to me what we do, then I'm going to roll at 130, 140.
Yeah.
But man, I get a purple belt that's now a brown belt, and that dude redlines me, man, like 165, and that's it.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the charts where, he's threatening me for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And I've got to fight. That's where my heart is like. I tell new white belts, I'm like, hey man, I'm not trying to kidnap you or carjack you or rob you. Your body will tell you it's a fight.
Yeah.
And and they're like, I'm not in good enough shape. I'm like, you're in a lot better shape than you're letting yourself.
Yeah. Adrenaline will keep you going for a little while.
Well, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So and you can always feel it. When you start with a new guy, they go ham
out the gate,
and then they gas. And it's like they're like, oh, I'm not in good shape. It's like you're in a lot better shape than you let yourself be. When you get your mind accustomed to the idea that, hey man, if you don't like what's happening, and we're done. I'm gonna let go.
Yeah.
So don't let your body trick you into thinking it's a big fight. But that's my cardio now is 2, 3, 4 days a week. I'll go fundamentals for an hour, and then we do advanced, and then the last 45 minutes of advanced are round robins. Everybody in the room, 8 minutes.
Gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I train with guys that have won big IBJJF tournaments and worlds. We've got purple and brown and blue belts that have won the Pan Ams and won.
That's intense.
Yeah, so these guys are it's legit. So they push me. They're half my age.
If we get your body fat down, it's actually you're going to have way more stamina because you're moving around less weight for yourself.
Well, I found that too. When I started a white belt, I was a wrestler. So my game...
Was your body fat way higher?
Oh, God, man.
When you started jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
That's not a new thing for you.
Jiu-jitsu?
How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu?
5.5 years.
Okay, so you've been at it.
Yeah, but like when I started, I happened to know because I had the heart attack, so they weighed me at the hospital.
Right.
When I walked out of the hospital in July of 2010 after the heart attack, I weighed 215. But that's an entirely different 215-pound animal than you're looking at.
What made you do jiu-jitsu?
All right, so in January of 2010, I realized I was fat. I went in the closet one day and I went, oh. And I'm not a vain guy, but I'm not I'm not willing to go buy bigger pants just because I'm fat.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to get in shape. So I got myself some shoes to run in. And in my head, I'm still the athlete, you know. So I go out for a run. I can't run a mile. Like I'm like, what happened to me? You know, right? So what happened? So I went to the gym. I joined a gym, and I'd ride a bike 10 miles as fast as I could one day, and I'd go back the next day and do machines. I didn't have a program. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going in and jumping on a machine and doing some stuff, and then going to another machine. And the next day I'd go back and ride the bike. Well, I did that for 6 months. I lost a lot. You know, I lost a good bit of weight. I wasn't necessarily any stronger, but I was in better shape. And I was like, but I'm dying. I'm bored here. I am going out of my mind. I cannot go back there and do that again. I need something else to do.
After the heart attack, though.
No, right before I had the heart attack, I was like, I was riding on the road and I saw a sign that said Jiu-Jitsu, this phone number. I was like, I've seen that on UFC. I know kind of what it is. I wrestled. That sounds like something that might be fun to do to be in better shape. So I went in, I did one class, and I was like, hell yes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reaction. I mean, most people that go to Jiu-Jitsu class, either they're like, I'm in, where do I sign? And they dive in and they love it, or they're like, this is insane, I'm never coming back. So I loved it, and went on vacation, signed up, went on vacation, had a heart attack. Rehabbed for a couple of months. They wouldn't let me do anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then the cardiologist cut me loose a couple of months after I left the hospital. I went back to Jiu-Jitsu, and I've been doing it ever since. But the 215-pound white belt is a whole different animal, because at that point I got serious about like learning how to train, and so I started barbell lifting. I'd never done that in my life. So I got the books, I read, you know, went to the gym until I couldn't stand the gym anymore and bought my gym. I've got a Rogue squat rack, and so now, you know, I don't have to go anywhere. I go home, like today, I'll go home and lift. Yeah, I'll go home and I'll go home and squat, and today's
I'd
squat.
like to see the
military.
stuff you got, because there may be one or two things you could add to give you a few more variables. Because I'm going to give you a program that I want you to do. And like Jim Wendler, which is a guy who got famous.
Maybe Wendler that said.
Marketing the 5-3-1.
Yeah, I did 5-3-1 for a couple of years.
But I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have put my name on it. And so we've been doing that since I was 10 years old. And that was what my dad had me doing.
I've got spreadsheets. I can tell you what I was doing.
Yeah, I wish
5 years ago.
A freaking name.
Because I started that. I started that program, and the thing I loved about that program was just about every day you go to the gym, you can hit a new PR.
Yeah,
like it's immediate gratification.
It's awesome.
Right. You can go in and you go, if I get 8 reps of this, I'm actually stronger.
Do you have a GHD, reverse hyper? So if you know, do you know about the West Side Barbell and Louis Simmons?
Yeah. But I don't do.
I love Louis Simmons and the West Side.
See, I don't train in gear or anything, and I think a lot.
I like raw.
Yeah,
a lot
of
people use gear.
I don't use knee reps or anything.
Other people too.
Yeah.
But I love the idea. I like raw powerlifting better than suits.
That's the only way I would do it.
I guess a one ply might help just prevent injury because it's not much. But I like raw. But I'm a huge fan of the core strengthening and the lower back, because that dude had what, 3 back surgeries, 2 or 3 broke back. I don't remember what all he had. But Louis Simmons developed the reverse hyper for his back. And I bought one specifically for my gym because when I first started powerlifting, I think I did my first powerlifting meet in 97. I was in 7th or 8th grade. I just was naturally ahead of everybody else because my dad started me when I was like 4. I was doing push-ups and sit-ups. He was doing seminars, and I would climb up to the top of the pull-up bars and do a flip off of it coming down, like crazy stuff. I could do 100 push-ups when I was 5 years old, like in a row. But that's all on the video
That's the beach
cameras right here.
muscles.
Yeah. So
I've got access to a Roman chair, but it's not really.
Okay. Well, that's good too, though.
Okay. The only it's not at my house right now because it just takes up a lot of floor space. But I've got 1-car garage. I've got
full of gym stuff.
Yeah, I've got one half of a 2-car garage.
Okay. But that's
my car doesn't go in.
You got the squat rack, right?
Oh yeah, I've got a squat rack.
Bench to go with it.
I've got an adjustable bench. I've got a Rogue squat rack with spotter arms and J cups.
Yeah, I believe in spotter arms.
I've got rings hanging on this pull-up bar, so I can do. Oh yeah, I got sandbags, kettlebells. I've got bumpers, so I can do. Well, I do deadlifts. I don't do snatch, and I don't do cleans.
You do jerk
because my shoulder. I tore this shoulder up. You know.
Did you have surgery on it?
I have not, and I'm not.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, it dislocates. It subluxes. It doesn't do it much now that I'm stronger, But when I got weak, man, I've subluxed it dozens and dozens of times over the years.
I got a rotator and a scapula program that is bomb proof.
Yeah.
Now it's very difficult and it's very hard, but after 6 months, I've healed total tears with this program.
I have not had surgery.
You had MRI?
And it has not subluxed in a long time, but I protect it very much. Like I've seen you do this thing here.
Yeah.
I'll guard. Like I won't. You're not gonna like. You know. And if you get a hold of this in an Americana or something, I'm gonna tap. I'm not gonna fight you on that. That's just not worth it.
Like shoulder rotator surgery is pretty terrible.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to.
I need it on my shoulder. I messed it up playing football at UNA in college, and I never got it fixed. Just because I was like, screw the surgery, I'll be fine. And when I train hard and do the rotator program, man, I can bench 315 for 20 reps and have no shoulder pain. But I miss my rotator program and don't do my shoulder stuff. Man, a 135-pound bar hurts.
Yeah.
So I can give you that too, but we need to. I'd like to see MRI. Just if you can get your doctor, say, hey, they'll insurance pay for it. Just, hey, can I see MRI on my shoulder? And they'll say, dude, you have nothing torn. You have a slight strain. Well, it's game time. We'll make your shoulder so strong that it's bomb proof.
No, I'm pretty sure
because if they say you got something torn,
I started subluxing it when I was in high school.
If it's like this far away, it's never going to grow back. But that's where stem cells come in. If you want to go to Florida or wherever and get the stem cell injections, which is awesome.
I just want to walk around and be strong and fit and live to see my grandchildren get married and win some tournaments along the way. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to get on a stage. I'm not trying to.
No.
You know, I'm not trying to set any powerlifting records or anything. I just, you know, I'm 47. So.
You want to be above average.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I want to be
Mr. Olympia.
Right.
You want to be 300 pounds of muscle.
I started jiu-jitsu in part because of the self-defense stuff. You know, of course, training with guns and everything. I needed some kind of guns not available. You know, answers. So that's part of the reason I do what I do. So.
I love jiu-jitsu. I think it's awesome.
Oh, it's not for everybody. But it's good. All right. So we'll talk off camera about what you might have for me.
I got all kinds of stuff.
All right, cool.
I'm worried it may be too much. You're like, dude, you're giving me too much shit.
Well, I
go back to Alabama.
I'll sort through it and figure out what I need most.
Yeah, that's what everybody does.
Well, thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.